This one, 41 Road. That's probably one of the best cars you've ever driven in your life. As a powerful, well-handling, comfortable. Between that and the 41 Caddies, that's what all the CCCA guys drive on tour. You know, when you got the big pyramids, they all have the big packers, the decent and they show up with these. Luggage room, comfortability, rolling with everybody in? So this is our mechanical building. Everything that's done in here is mechanical oriented, or you might see parts that are painted on racks that we bring over to assemble. So this is where we do clutch, brakes, everyday service. Every car that he drives when he comes in for a weekend gets parked in the tent, and then those cars come up and get through a process. We drop all the fluids to look and make sure nothing's falling apart. Preventive. I got enough work to do. I don't need to have engines flying apart and gearboxes. And so we do the preventive part of it. We check everything. The cars are washed, cleaned, and they don't go back in one of the big buildings until all that's done, no matter what. Even if he rode it 10 miles, it comes up. It's just, I want to catch stuff before it comes apart. So everything like that's done in here. The taxi you see here is the actual taxi from the movie It's a Wonderful Life. That's Ernie and Bert's car. Yep. All original paint, original everything. The motor is sitting in front of it. We just reassembled it. We're ready to put it back in. All in focus. You having fun? This is going back in. It's already been on a machine run in, so we disassemble it, check everything, and that'll be going in this car. I'm sorry. That's okay. These are the parts for it.
Keith, that was the body of this. You had said once before that the drums are so big. That was an actual truck?
This is a truck chassis. If you look at the chassis itself, look at the size of the drums. This is a GMC truck chassis. It's not Buick, it's a GMC truck, and that's what they use. These are like, you know, I mean, these running boards, they're really thick because they were used for a taxi. So that's why the big drums, the big brakes, everything is taxi. It has a Buick motor from factory. That's a Buick engine, straight 8, valve in head, give it reliability because they were really known for the reliability of the valve, you know, in head. And it's just a great car. So we're not going to restore it, but once again, we want to be able to drive it. Motor was tired. We want to, you know, enjoy the car. So that'll go back in there. Every car that comes apart gets a rack. Either it's a static rack or it's a mobile rack. And when we disassemble a car, there might be 30, 40 racks for one car, all categorized, mechanical, upholstery, paintwork, you know, whatever it is. And then when it comes apart, everything comes apart next door. We photograph every piece, how it was on the car, where it was on the car, if it has numbers or stampings or crayon marks, whatever it was. They go on racks, and then it goes through the shop almost like an assembly line. We got a fabricator, we got a painter, we got a flex guy, we got a body man, we got an upholsterer, and everybody has their own job. But if the mechanic needs something made, machined, a shaft, a clutch pedal shaft, and it's worn, and we have to make a new one, he hands it to the fabricator. The fabricator will make the piece. Hand it back to him on the rack, or give it to the paint guy. And then it gets paint work, and then it gets put on a finished rack. So everybody works together. Everybody knows how to put the car together because everybody takes the car apart as a team. That way, the mechanics, he's pulling stuff apart, he knows what has to be done to go back together. The metal guy, he's fitting body, taking body panels apart, taking pieces apart in the headlight, the guy that's doing the wiring, and everybody has to work as a team. And we take digital photographs of everything, and everybody shares on their own, you know, laptops, so that everybody can pull. You know, we have that iCloud, so everybody we release, so everybody can pull up whatever picture they need, or ask. I mean, everybody's in the shop.
Keith, one more time, the history of this before, where was it stored since the movie?
This was in California. An old gentleman had taken the motor and drivetrain apart, thought he was going to restore that part of it. Got so old, he had it apart for like 14 years, and it was just sitting there. And, you know, to have such a historical piece sitting there, it's ridiculous, you know. So we actually had to beg the wife to have the husband sell it, just because we want to do good for the car. It isn't about Mr. Bulgari or Joe Magadonuts owning it. It's about, let's get the car back on the road. Let's get it out there so people can enjoy it. And in fact, before we put the motor back in, this thing's been at the ACA Museum, it's been at like 5 museums, it's been at big shows as a roller. People didn't even know there was no engine in it, just because we wanted people to enjoy it, especially around the holidays. It's a big draw, you know, so it's a cool car.
And what year is the chassis again? Or
This is a 1929 GMC chassis, Buick straight 8 valve and head motor.
when was the movie made? When was that movie made?
48 or 40?
Yeah.
48, 46?
Who was the producer?
When they get it on video.
7 guys.
I thought maybe he always said they learned the history. He always said they learned the history, so I thought maybe he had it.
All of this.
Yeah, not unlike someone else I know.
Cut the grass.
Because everybody who ever owned
do
a
the
car.
fabricating, do the painting, do the movement of the cars, truck the cars, paint the cars, upholster the cars, make crates, load containers, unload containers, 7 of us. And Christina, she runs the whole operation. She does payroll, she does ordering, she does taxes. You think I do my hobby for free? Who does that? We do. Yes.
The actual car used in the movie, It's a Wonderful Life, the taxi cab that Ernie came up and got him back in.
I can't like have everybody look at it, but what's also neat about this is the rear differential actually has Yellow Cab Company embossed right in the housing. Because it's a front loader rear, so it's actually embossed outward in the rear differential from the back. You can see it. And actual Yellow Cab Company rolled off of GMC. Pretty neat thing. 41 Buick Roadmaster, two-door convertible. One of the best driving touring cars you can drive. Comfortable, room for luggage. Unbelievable car. A dream to drive. I think it's getting, oh, no, this one's getting. Once again, what's wrong with the car? It's not fast enough. So, we're putting different gear in the rear. That's some of the awards, as I said before, you know, everything from Pebble to whatever. That's Mr. Bulgari up there at Pebble Beach with an announcement at Pebble Beach. See the guy in the middle? Remember that? Saddam Hussein face? Alfredo? So, just a little bit about him and stuff. This is an all-original Terraplane. As you can see, the paint's cracking, but it's got the original kind of tire and interior. So this we had just gotten a couple weeks ago. I don't know, what, 3 weeks ago? 4 weeks ago? So we pulled the gas tank because it was kind of crappy. Once again, we're not going to do anything to it, but mechanical or anything to get it back on the road and enjoy it. We're not going to store it. This here is, remember I was talking about the Grand Blue Streak? The Grand Blue Streak was a 1933 car, and the car looks like a hot rod. If you look at the height of it already, it looks like it's lowered, but it's not. This is factory. Remember I showed you the 33 Buick convertible sedan, how low it was? This car is metallic. Got a little close, but this is a good example of a metallic that we did. We just finished this car, what, last year? And unfortunately a head gasket blew, so we're replacing the head gasket, that's why it's in here. But the rear on this car, to lower the car down, what they did was they took the rear on the frame, and now don't, just follow me, no, just watch when I point. See, that's a frame on a rotisserie, and you see where the rails kick up in the back? Cody, stop, turn to your left, walk straight. Yes, right in there. What they did, they built a banjo style. So the frame goes like this, and then it goes like this. And the rear tube goes through it. So you could lower the scrub line of the car down, and they mounted the leaf springs on the outside of the frame rail. So if that's your frame rail in the back, instead of having the shackle here and come down and then your leaf spring is this way, they mounted it on the side so they could also lower the whole scrub line, so it's mounted here and your leaf spring is here. So they lowered the car 6 inches from the factory when they built the car. That blew the world away. Everybody wanted this. Everybody. The problem was, the look is phenomenal. I mean, it looks like a hot rod. Yeah, man. But the roads did not demand it yet. We didn't have the roads for this yet. And everybody was bottoming out, taking out oil pans, suspension pieces, cross members, exhaust pipes, you know, mufflers. So, and it had a buggy spring straight axle in the front still, which was futile. So Buick went to independent front suspension in 34 the year after this, raised the car back up because now you still had the handling and you could bring the car up so you didn't have the problem with bottoming out. But this was a big turn. Aerodynamically, it's called the blue streak. See how fine that metallic is? It's amazing. That's what you want to see at a show. You don't want to see a silver and have it look metallic, like a modern car. They're all, I'm not saying it's ugly on a modern car, I love it. But to make this look old and make it right, you need to get it where it's like, it's just there. It's like